Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elistar Velgaros, and welcome back to more Satisfactory. We did it. We have completed Phase 3 after completely reconstructing our entire factory. And this factory is capable of producing literally everything from the first 3 phases of the game, including all of the space elevator parts, and then some. We're also making crystal oscillators. I got gunpowder being made. I have, silica, crystals, all of this other cool stuff. And we even have a little bit of SAM when we're ready to use that. But we are going to be primarily focusing on the plan. Now, let me be perfectly honest here, okay? I'm going to be completely honest here. I need you to look me right in the eye, okay? Look at me, not my tits. Look at me right in the eye, okay? This is where the game really gets hard. All right? I'm not joking. Phase 4 is where I would say a good maybe 20 to 30% of the player base actually stops playing the game. Because the requirements for these materials to make are insane. Let's take a look. So, first things first. We have not yet completed Tier 6. I was in such a rush in order to actually clear Phase 3, we completely didn't even bother with Tier 6 yet. But we're going to have to, considering that we're going to need trains, railways, pipes, and the Mark II blueprint designer. But Phase 7, or Tier 7, not Phase 7, Jesus. Tier 7 is bauxite refinement. Aluminium, and yes, I say aluminium. I'm American, and I do say aluminium. Aluminium is a pain in my ass. I hate aluminium. I hate making it. I hate transporting it. I hate doing anything with this material. But it is one of the most important materials to use in this game. I want to rush the hover pack as well, but I need sheets in order to do that. Mark V logistics are also another very important thing because these use aluminium in order to transport 780 resources per minute. And then we get into the spicy bits. Hazmat suits, iodine-infused filters, and control system development. Also, a very, very important tier or milestone. That's the word I'm looking for. Milestone to get into, specifically for this machine right here. The blenders. Tier 8, aeronautical engineering. Drones. We love drones. If only they were actually useful in my eyes. We're definitely going to be using drones at some point during our playthrough, but not as often as you think. And then the big boy. Nuclear power. Thanks for calling me out, Fix-It. Thank you. Yes, I am going to complete a nuclear power plant. I am going to use a lot of uranium. I am not afraid of it this time. Advanced aluminium production, cooling systems, fused modular frames, nitrogen gas, resource wells and extractors, leading edge productions, the Mark III miner, turbo motors and thermal propulsion rockets. And finally, particle enrichment, nitric acid, plutonium, and nuclear pasta. With our final machine, the particle accelerator. Lots to do. So much to do. Let's start off simple. Nice and simple. we're going to start off with monorail technology. Let's go grab our motors, our encased beams. How many do we need here? We need just one more U. The beams. Not right now. Motors. How many motors do I have? 50, 100, 250. We're gonna have to come back for some more. That's okay. Beams. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. A little hop, skip, and a jump away. Boom, boom, boom. And last but not least, the steel pipes. The steel pipes that have given me a lot of problems while constructing this whole thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I had to sacrifice a lot more iron than I wanted to for more steel pipes. And that's that. Monorail technology.
Milestone reached. Trains are excellent for efficiently moving vast quantities of parts. Train logistics can be made more precise and complex with tools found in the railway signaling milestone. I listen to all my pioneers, often when they're not even aware of it. So due to popular demand, I have added a motivational message. Choo-choo mother...
Hell yeah. Choo-choo motherfuckers. Alright. I'm so glad Coffee Stain added that. That's so funny. Let's go ahead and get a couple more pipes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of those. Then we wait. Because the pod needs to come back in order for me to unlock the railway signaling. But you know what? Let's also look into gathering the rest of the materials for the other milestones. Like pipelines. 1,000 plastic, 1,000 rubber, and 50 heavy modular frames. Well, just so happens I have a massive stockpile of all this stuff. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then rubber. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. As for the heavy modular frames, I do have 50 of them, so we are good to go on that. Many, many, many advancements today. These are going to give us the Mark II pipelines. So that way our pipes can hold 600 water per minute. That is 2 fully overclocked water extractors. Ugh. It's so good. It's so good. Tasty. Alright. We must wait now. Alright, our buddy the pod is back. Let us go ahead and give them 50 computers, 400 pipes, and of course, 1,000 sheets. So that way, we can unlock railway signaling. Yippee!
Milestone reached. Train signals placed on train rails can control and improve train behavior. This helps to avoid events where multiple trains attempt to occupy the same physical location. For information related to earlier train events, please refer to your employee non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, I bet that probably says, hey, don't question things. Oh boy. Alright, now we wait another 5 minutes in order to get the pipes. Pod has returned. You guys know what that means. Pipeline, Mark II. Yippee! Here we go.
Milestone reached. Pipelines and pipeline pumps can now be upgraded to Mark II. They are like Mark I, but better. Pipes seem to be objects of fascination to humans. In fact, there are recorded instances of humans doing nothing but thinking about pipes for hours.
I don't know where that comes from, but okay. All right. While it is not necessary, the Fix-It Blueprint Mark II is also an option. We are going to unlock it because we are going to 100% the game. Well, you know what? We'll think about 100%ing the game. Hunting down all of the materials is a little... Ugh. Yikes. Alright. Then we need 1,500 concretes. But, yeah, we're looking pretty good so far. Of course, back to waiting for the stupid pod. Welcome back, little pod. Let us immediately send you away again as we collect our Fix-It Blueprints Mark II.
The Blueprint Mark II improves upon the Mark I in every dimension, except for the metaphysical ones. This improvement was made available due to complaints from pioneers about other pioneers not being capable of managing their space efficiently. We listen to pioneers, always.
Mm-hmm. Sure you do. Alright, but there we go. Blueprint Mark IIs. Now comes in a 5x5 instead of a 4x4. Crazy. Super crazy. Alright. So now comes the fun part. Deciding on what we're going to be doing next. Well, the next step is going to be bauxite refinement. And as much as I hate to say it, there's going to be a lot of skipping again. Bauxite and aluminium processing is so goddamn annoying. But I have a plan. Because you see, we're running into a bit of a problem. It's a bad problem. It's a pretty bad problem. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a problem that we've been dealing with pretty much since the beginning of the game. It's power. Guys, our power grid is just screaming for help. Even with the expansion that I showed you guys in the last episode, it's not enough. It's still not enough. I need more power. I need more power. So, I was thinking, what if we set up a tiny little fuel power plant? A little fuel power plant. What do you guys think of that? Right? Because I was thinking, well, since we don't need any of these anymore, we can start planning the rest of our attack on the game. Or, you know what? Better yet, what we should do is go make a creative world. I don't know. Diagrams and lists are always really nice, and I like using the signs to mark out my ideas and plans. So, like I said, one of the primary things that we need to do is we need to get more power. Yeah, obviously we have the fuel generators, but they're expensive. They are so goddamn expensive to make. I could make more coal power plants. Increase our power just a little bit with this little setup here. our first coal power plant that we made. I could overclock the coal that this is using and, you know, do that. But fuel is just so much better. Fuel is just so much better. The only thing is, I don't want to go too crazy with it because there's a setup that we could do later on. But in order to get literally anything done in tier 7, we have to set up some kind of a bauxite production. We have to do it. We do not have a choice. So that is going to bring us to our first little expansion project. Did you see the desert? The desert does not hold any bauxite whatsoever. There is no bauxite here in the desert. You have to go out and find it. Luckily for me, though, I know where there is some. And it's going to be all the way on the other side of the desert. Well, way past all of this, a normal copper node that I totally forgot to tap into, and I'm upset about that because I could have used that copper. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Hello, neighbors. Don't mind me, I'm gonna steal this. So, our little expansion project is gonna start right about here. Right at the bottom of this massive hill, there's a bunch of stinkies, a bunch of stinky clouds. And most importantly, is this little patch of land right here. This is where we're going to set up a temporary aluminium production. Oh, but Elistar, you just said that there's no bauxite in the desert. And yes, I did. It's not in the desert. It's in the swamp. It's about right here in the swamp. Why am I building in the swamp? Because, unfortunately, everybody, the swamp has some really good materials in it, and you kinda have to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just the way that it is. I don't make the rules. But, yes, we are going to go and we are going to tap a couple of bauxite nodes that are in the desert. Or the swamp. Let me show you guys exactly where they are. So, you come from the desert, you go down this hill, right? You follow this natural path. There is a impure sulfur node right here, and then boom, you're in the desert. Be warned though. Ow, you stupid pig. Be warned though, this place sucks. I hate it here. I hate this biome so much. I only come down here when I need extra materials, when I'm hunting for slugs, or I'm finding bauxite. And lo and behold, here it is. We got an impure node. Should have a couple more. Oh, spider. Oh, Lord. Okay, that scared the shit out of me. One moment, please. Okay. Yeah, they're all right there. All three of them. I'm looking for the normal node. There it is. Your normal. Ah, even better. A pure node. Alright, here we go. 240 bauxite. Double that will give us 480. Then, of course, we need power. Technically, we could just do the processing literally right here in the desert. Why do I keep saying desert? We could do all of the aluminium processing right here in the swamp. You suck, Pigu. Why are you like this? Stop. Bad Pigu. Go away. Alright, objective. Power the bauxite node. Now, I need to go get more encased industrial beams. Ow! Leave me alone. Alright, I gotta go collect some materials and set up a little spot for our aluminium processing. You know, first things first we should probably do is, you know, unlock bauxite refinement. That'd be a good idea.
Milestone reached. Bauxite is refined into aluminum products via a multi-step process. Considering your past achievements, you should have the minimum required skill to overcome these new production challenges. If it helps, many others have done this before, so if you fail, someone else will eventually succeed.
Yeah. Yay, bauxite. God. Alright. Back to obtaining the bauxite. Okay, we got a little platform dug out here. And I managed to bring over the last couple of things that we need. So we got a pure bauxite node, 480 coming in. And I also needed a copper node that I pulled up out of the cliffside over here. And yes, I built a bridge around the outside of the map to not deal with nature. But yeah, there's a copper node that's right over here. I think this is producing... Oh, Christ, what is it? Like 240? Yeah, 240 copper per minute. I probably should boost this up to the maximum of 300. Just, no, I'm not going to do that. 270. There we go. Just so that way we can make full use of the Mark III belt. I don't have enough encased industrial beams on me, so we're just going to ignore that. Bauxite. Here we go. Let me just go ahead and quickly set that I don't have any iron rods. Okay, that's great. All right, bauxite. How make refineries is how you make bauxite. It is a pain to do so. So, standard recipe for aluminium. We need to make solution first. We need 120 bauxite and 180 water per minute. But we have more than that. We have 300 and 450 water. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a nice little water extractor right here. And take some power lines. You know, I should probably go get some... Actually, no. I'll just take it from there. Alright. As I was saying, I also have no plastic. Oh my god. One moment. You know, while I'm over here, I'm actually going to go ahead and do something that's going to help with the power issue. Over here in the alien technology, there are these items that are called augmenters. I want to see if I have the materials. I don't. I don't have the fluctuators. Is there any down here? Oh, that might actually do it. Hold on. Then, yes, we do have enough. Okay. So we're going to take those, the somber sloops, and I have to come up here to go grab more computers. So let's grab, say 100 of them. That'll do the trick. And we're going to research the augmenters. Start research.
Power augmenter unlocked. Summer sloops naturally harvest. Yes, harvest energy from distant sources and distribute it locally. The power augmenter supercharges summer sloops by feeding it local power, increasing its harvesting range and efficiency, and thus power output. Basically, the more power it's given, the more it provides.
Do not loop the loop organ. It will shred and tear and unravel the threads. Many temples burned.
Good to know, that confirms that hypothesis.
I don't like the fact that it said that many temples burned. Don't know what the temples entitle. But we need some reanimated Sam now. Okay, now that I have some fluctuators, we can finally assist with our power problem here. So what we're gonna do is zoop out a couple of platforms here, just to make room for this thing. And we're gonna build it. So these things are kind of big. I'm gonna warn you guys right now. They're pretty big. But they are worth it. Trust me. So, the alien power augmenters, it does exactly what it says it does. It augments power. It takes our little somber boys, like this, and channels energy and power through it in order to enhance it. It also sends you flying. Whee! Ow! So, what we're going to do is we're going to take our cables here. Now, keep in mind, we are making 5,112. We connect it to the augmenter. It instantly gave us well over 500 megawatts of power. And then it boosts your megawatts depending on how much power you are sending into it. And this boost that you get is stackable. So it only gives you 10% of a boost per augmenter that you have. However, basically, if you have 10 of these augmenters, you're looking at well over 100% bonus to your power grid. And that's the reason why I wanted to get this rocking as quickly as I did. I blew the damn fuse again. It's whenever I turn on the manufacturers, they're just like, ow, my heart. But now our consumption is going to be a lot further away from our capacity line. It's not going to be over our max constraint, however, but that's okay. Because not all of our machines are going to be turned on, because a lot of them are making basic materials and everything, but we got to keep an eye on that for when we head back over to the temporary aluminium setup. And I hope that this system is not going to freaking crash again. Because I don't have a whole lot of materials left. I'm gonna go put my somber sloops away, and I'm gonna make another, like a couple more dimensional depots using some of the somber sloops that I have, or not somber sloops, my merchospheres, just to give me a little bit of a buffer, if you guys will. I also wanted to show you guys this. You know how I was saying that it gets exponentially more expensive to make these things if you use the somber sloops? Actually, I can't show you here. What about in a foundry? Yeah, I can show you in a foundry. So a typical foundry without any power shards uses 16 megawatts of power. If you throw a somber sloop in there, it uses 64 now. Ugh. No thank you. I'm leaving. I will use my somber sloops to enhance my power, thank you very much. Okay, but for each of these things, I'm gonna need more wire. Let's see. Might as well add one on the quick wire. Pipes. I don't need one on the rubber. Let's do motors. Actually, no, not motors. I don't need the motors. The reinforced iron plates, though. Yes. Alright. Let's load back up on steel pipes, throw that stuff back, and then it is aluminium time, boys.
The effigy only sings when you compose.
I was not built to use organic components for communication. I am adjusting.
The effigies make a flow. You are not the current.
I am not sure what you mean. I do run on a current. I am a digital construct.
I love it how the aliens and Ada are just arguing constantly. Just so you guys are aware, those voice lines are triggered by picking up the somber sloops. And I'm pretty sure there's like a whole string of dialogue that you hear when Ada and the aliens are talking to each other. I may have missed a couple of them, but I don't know. There's a lot of somber sloops in the world, so I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of voice lines for everything. All right, here we go. First up, we got water to deal with. Obviously, we just hook up our bauxite. We get that flowing. And this has no power. Why? There we go. Better. We already got the water flowing from in here. These are 2 water extractors fully overclocked to give us 600 water per minute, which is a full Mark II pipe. Then what we're going to do is swap to here. Set up that, and then using our build modes, Yeah, you know, I don't really care. Just set it up with curve, curve, and there's enough head lift from here to send the water into our refinery. There we go. We now have aluminium solution in silica. Need to expand the platform a little bit here. About right there ought to do the trick. So let's then set up another refinery and set this to make the aluminium scrap. So we need to take this. We are making 300 solution per minute. So let's get that to match 300. There we go. Oh, that's a problem. We also need coal. Well, where are we going to get coal from, I wonder? Well, we use our little scanner here. We beep boop our way around. There is coal about 600 meters over here. It's a little ways away, but it's the closest between bauxite nodes that I can find. They are also both impure nodes. Great. And surrounded by pigus. Alright. So, you guys know the drill. Clear out the locals. Place down our miners as soon as I get my portable miners out of my inventory. So boom and boom. It was only like 150 we needed. We're just gonna yeet. Then it's the art of bringing this coal over to the aluminium treatment. We're just going to power that temporarily with the power tower itself. And we just drag it all the way over. There we go. Easy peasy. And now we wait. While we wait, let's get everything else hooked up. We'll get the solution flowing into the machine. We're going to take our silica and move it this way, because we're going to need this for the final production. We need to take our coal. Do that. Again, this is all temporary. I don't care about the clipping. And if I can actually get this stuff to line up properly. There. Now, we're going to be making aluminium scrap. But we also have a major problem in the aspect of water. We have a byproduct of water that we have to deal with. Now, here is where water and the problem with aluminium setups. Water acts really, really funky in this game. It acts really, really funky. And there are priorities that you have to follow when it comes to pipes. This wasn't recently discovered. Like, this was recently discovered. And it's really, really stupid. I don't know why water does this. And the funny thing is, neither do the developers. So, if we have 150 coming in, that means we only need 300 going out. So, technically, we could just kill that producer right there, and then this is perfectly fine. This will now go on an infinite loop, making aluminium. And now we have nothing but the scrap to deal with, which requires foundries. In the foundries, you take the scrap, and you combine it with silica, and you get aluminium ingots. So we have 450 aluminium scrap. Divide that by 90. So 450 divided by 90. It's about 5 machines. Okay. Not bad. But now here's the problem. 75 silica, but we're only making 125. So, even though it's not a whole lot, right? We have 125 minus 75. That's 50. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up 2 foundries. Go with our standard overflow method, of course. We're going to do splitter. Actually, no, we're not going to do splitters. We're going to do smart splitters. Set this to any, the front output to overflow. Same thing. Let's do any on the right, overflow up top. And then to deal with the extra scrap, we're going to sink it. So let's go ahead and grab our scrap. Send it that way. Then the silica come up, go this way. Take this, power and power. Perfect. So we have to bring this down to 66.666%. So that way it uses the remaining what did I say it was supposed to be? Yeah, 50 aluminium or 50 silica. It'll be 49.999, but it's basically 50. But yeah, this is going to be filling up with the aluminium scrap. We have the ingots now. So let's get crafting. Wait, that's going in the wrong direction. What are we doing here? Hold on. We need a merger. Going this way. Thank you, thank you. And then this way. Up and over the coal. Down. And perfect. Now, we need to make two things here. Number one is going to be aluminum casings. It's not going to be a whole lot because these things take a lot of aluminum to make. And we only have 100 to play with. So here's what we're going to do. We need to make the sheets as a priority. 30 aluminum ingots to make 30 sheets per minute. But we also need copper. That's totally okay though, because I already prepared for this. Grab our copper, throw it in there, power it, boom, 30 copper. No problem. Do that. Whoops. We're going to set up a splitter right there. Bada bing, bada boom. We power this sumbitch. Then we will have aluminium, alclad aluminium sheets. And to tell you the truth, we're going to need more sheets than anything. So 45, that'll give us 55 aluminium to play around with. So in the casings, we can bring this down to 60. Let's just do 60%. No. It's got to be 55. 62, 55.8. So if I do that math, it's going to be 61.666%? No. We're just 61%. 61.3? Nope. Alright, you know what? I don't really care. Some weird, dumb math will need to take place here. Let's just do another smart splitter with the any on the left and the overflow on the center. Do that, and then take the rest and kill it. There we go. So this is basically the kind of thing that you want to do with aluminium. I would probably say you would have to have it as an infinite loop. Because otherwise, you're going to have backups on your actual production. It's going to slow down, it's going to break, and you're going to be coming back here dealing with the breakage and all that. It's annoying. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to set these guys up with some big boy storages. Because, yes, these are going to be extremely important to have. And I even went so far as to bring... I didn't bring my sand fluctuators. Damn it. Whatever. Alright, we got casings. We got sheets. We are looking good. Nothing's backing up. Nothing's broken. scrap isn't piling up. The solution isn't piling up. The water is doing good. Yeah. I think we did it. I mean, unfortunately, we are sinking quite a lot of resources, but that's fine. Because again, it's all temporary. Alright, let's see what else we can do here. We got 45 tickets to go through right now. Equipment, any new architecture? Nope. Walls, maybe? No. Foundations. That is going to be 12 customizers. Let's do 3, 5, 43 out of 45. 43, 45. There we go.
Fix-It does not guarantee improvement of workplace readability, efficiency, or safety with use of these patterns, since the process of deployment is dependent on pioneer skill.
Of course. Alright, so we got a bunch of new stuff. We are slowly gathering all of the cosmetic stuff in order to build a huge, proper factory. And we got our very first 200 alkali aluminium sheets. So, I'm going to let that build up a little bit. We're going to head on back. We are going to unlock some new technology. And we'll get going. All right. So, the very first thing that we are going to do, I'm going to make some room in my inventory to gather. Let us see. We have 100. Well, we have 200 alkali aluminium sheets right now. But what we are going to need is to go up. I don't know why I don't use my elevator. It's just a little bit faster to do this. We're going to grab 100 heavy modular frames. We're going to grab a couple more computers. We have our sheets. And most importantly, we need some motors, but I have very little inventory space. So drop, 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 drop. Perfect. We'll go pick up some motors. 250 of them to be precise. And then we're going to unlock one of the most important items, in my opinion, in this game. The hover pack.
Milestone reached. The hover pack draws energy from nearby power connections, and so can only be used in their vicinity. It provides an excellent vantage point of your work, which you clearly need. Otherwise, you would have optimized that obvious problem by now.
Ada, shut up. I know there are problems. I know my factory is not optimized. You don't need to call me out like that. All right. So yes, whenever we are going to be doing base building or anything like that, the hover pack is the most important item in this section of the game. And you can literally just float around and hang out. You can get a good oversight of all of your machines. You can reach them from a much further distance. It's so good. It's so good. One thing is for certain, though. I did want to change this over here. Where that is going to go there. And then that's going to go like that. Is this my ACU? It is. Okay. I don't actually need this going, so I'm not going to hook that up. What is this? My computer production. I need that. I mean, I guess it's just the heavy modular, the modular engines I can have going right now. But what I wanted to do was hook up one of these, then set up another smart splitter. So we're gonna have any overflow go just like that. Cool. So that's gonna start making some tickets, and I love my tickets. But in order to continue, I need to go collect some more stuff from the aluminium plant. So, swap back to the jetpack, and off we go. Okay, we got some more aluminium. Let us figure out what we're going to do next. Logistics 5. It's a very important one to go through. We need some reinforced iron plates and some more encased industrial beams. Let's see. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. And I'm going to take some of these out as well. Actually, I can just do that. Then, reinforced iron plates. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is now a very big step. This is a huge step for us. Logistics 5 unlocked.
Milestone reached. Dixit dedicated this milestone to the conveyor belt and lift Mark 5. They may be implying that your factory could be further optimized. While they are correct, I believe they are setting unreasonable expectations. Having all of humanity very definitely relying on your work is a lot of pressure. It's a good thing I'm here.
Yes, so now I can finally upgrade my screw system here to be completely optimized. So they need to be Mark 5 belts. This needs to be a Mark 5 lift. And then I have to drag it all the way over. To about right there. That needs to be Mark 5. That needs to be Mark 5. And so does that. And there we go. That will now give us the proper speed in order to make my heavy modular frames as fast as they need to be made. As long as I didn't accidentally miss something somewhere. I might have accidentally missed something somewhere. Oh, it looks like everything is working just fine. Yeah, 5, 5. These are 5, that's a 5. That's a 5, that's a 5. There, that's a 5. And I changed the thing up here. Nope, I did not. That's what it was. You stinky little bugger, you. There we go. Alright, now we're making 5 heavy modular frames per minute. Phew. That certainly took a while. But I can go ahead and delete this note now. And my mind can finally be at ease that all of my machines are working perfectly fine. Now, we gotta think about what we're doing next. Hazmat suits? We don't need that right now. What we need is this. Control system development. Which is going to give us the assembly director system. The first space elevator part. But I need to go get more casings. And of course, I need to go get more sheets. So, quick trip over to the mini plant. Actually, you know what I'm going to do as well? I'm going to go set up a couple of dimensional depots over there so I don't have to worry about coming back every once in a while. They can build up as time goes on. Need to just go grab a couple Mercer spheres and then we're good. Okay. So, here we go. Control system development. Requires 200 sheets, 400 casings, not to mention some computers and some plastic. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Actually, wait, I have a whole lot of plastic. What am I doing here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So dump, dump, and dump. Then we're going to take the elevator. Whee! Go up to the computers. And grab 2, 4, 6, 200. Cool beans. I built that elevator there to, you know, make moving a little bit easier. Never freaking use it. Alright. Control system developments. This is going to give us acids, batteries, radio control units, supercomputers, the blender, and of course the first space elevator part, the assembly director system.
Milestone reached. Several parts more efficient and powerful than the human brain can now be made to compensate for many deficiencies otherwise encountered in future development efforts. The blender enables you to mix and/or combine parts and fluids for more complex recipes. Most importantly, project part number 6, the assembly director system, should be produced and delivered to the space elevator as soon as possible.
Of course. The blender. This machine right here is probably the most important in any kind of fluid production ever. And it is an extremely important building for a power plant that we're going to be constructing soon. .tm. But at the current moment in time, it can only make batteries, and we don't need batteries right now. Although, we do have the ability to make the assembly director systems, which, surprisingly, we can almost do. We need adaptive control units. 1.5 adaptive control units per minute. We only have the ability to make one at the moment. The question is, can I bump that. 5 automated wiring. So if I were to throw a power shard in this, to bump that to the 1.5 that we need to make 3 computers per minute. That we can do. 1.5 heavy modular frames per minute. That we can do, because now this machine is running at 100%. 7.5 circuit boards per minute. I'm fairly certain we can do that. As soon as I find where my freaking circuit boards are being made. Here we are. Oh yeah, we're making like 40 of these suckers per minute. And then what's the last thing we need? 7.5 automated wiring per minute. Well, let's see. 5, we can do it. Hey! All right. That's great news. You know what? Turn that bad boy back on. And let's start making 1.5 adaptive control units per minute. And then the last thing we need are these. The supercomputers. This is going to be a very, very tedious thing. But I do want to get these things started. Supercomputers need 15. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. No, go back. Whew. I mean, that's still a lot. That is still a lot. What is it going to take for me to make just 1 per minute? 4 computers. That's not going to work, because I already need 3 for the adaptive control units, and I'm making 5. Cable, plastic. I don't know. Can I bump this up to 6? I cannot. That's too much plastic. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, the only other thing that we can do is build all of the other parts and then slowly start producing these ourselves. I don't want to have to dedicate an entire factory to make these things, because that's tedious. All right, let's wait for the pod, and then we'll figure out where we're going from there. All right, so, of course, there's not really anything that I can do at the moment. Plans are needed, and there's things to be done. Preparation, of course. Top thing being, we need to unlock the high-speed connectors in the Caterium line of the MAM. So that way we can unlock the rest of the tree.
Research completed. High-speed connector recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
So now we can make high-speed connectors using quick wire, cable, and circuit boards, which, if I'm not mistaken, I can do right now. I'll set that up later. Next thing, Caterium. High-speed connectors is going to lead us to the rest of the research in the Caterium tree. Mark III power poles, the priority power switches, the homing rifle ammo through the guidance systems, programmable splitters, and the geothermal generators. But here's the thing. We need fabric. We need coal, fabric, and some pipes. Well, we have a lot of coal just hanging out. So I'm not all too worried about the coal. We can do, just come on over here, take, I don't remember how much it was I needed, like what, 30 or so? All right, then, let's see here. All we need now is 50 fabric. And there is a different type of fabric that we can make using, what is this? Polymer resin, right. Get another hand slot, parachutes, but medicinal properties is not really important. The actual gas filters are what I'm looking for. And I'm curious. See if I can make this a little bit quicker. I can. But I don't have the coupons to do it. Or do I? You see, the entire time that we've been working on the aluminium plants and stuff, our space elevator parts have been building up. I have a lot of smart plating. Like, a lot of smart plating. So, let's just say that I can go ahead and take a little bit of this. And maybe come on over here to... Oh, I don't know. Maybe... not fumble with my stuff. And then, you know, send a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 or two into the system. You know, just a couple tickets. It's actually not going to be that crazy. I mean, just look at how slow the smart plating goes up. That's pathetic, actually. Oh my god. Like, that is actually pathetic for the amount of points that these were giving us before, and now they're not. They're barely giving us anything. Like, what the hell? I mean, it is still a significant jump to go from 22,000 to 300,000 a minute. That's still pretty nice. But in my eyes, the fastest way for us to get the points that we need is going to be to send these things in. There we go. That's better. I hate doing this, but making fabric through mycelium is such a pain in the ass. So we're just going to immediately spend our 4 tickets on some fabric. Come to the mycelia line and get our gas filters.
Research completed. Gas mask and filter unlocked. Mycelia fabric is highly absorbent, making it more effective at toxic gas filtration than the standard issue Pioneer helmet. A pleasant pine scent is included. Gas filters require regular replacement for optimal safety.
Indeed they do. But I don't really like using the mycelia for making filters and stuff. Doing it with polymer resin is actually a lot easier to do so. So we have to head on over to the oil plant now, to our temporary oil treatment plant. And we're going to go collect about 100 polymer resin. It's been a while since we've been over here, actually. It's the great thing about automation. You can just build it and forget about it. So, of course, we're going to speed through this. Okay. So here's the thing now. We aren't necessarily making polymer resin. So, polymer resin is made... I do have a recipe that is just strictly to turn oil into polymer resin. So, let's just disable that for a moment. And swap it to do this. That's using a lot of oil, actually. Oh, Christ on a stick. Alright, so it's still making the heavy oil residue. More, actually. And we only need 100 of it. So, get a mam down to the mycelia tree. Synthetic polymer. Beautiful. Now you can go back to making plastic. And we can make polyester fabric. Perfect.
Research completed. Polyester fabric recipe unlocked. Using polyethylene terephthalate, production of a lightweight and strong fabric can be automated. It has many of the properties of naturally sourced fabric, and also amplifies body odor.
Oh. Well, that's great. I'm stinkier now when I use it. How lovely. Alright, so some other research that I want to get done is going to revolve around the quartz line. Our friendly little crystal oscillators over here are going to be the key factor to this little line of research I want to get done. Being, number one, priority mergers.
Priority merger unlocked. Useful for prioritizing between inputs to avoid eventual stoppage. If you have an issue with stoppage somewhere else, consult a physician instead.
Alright, next thing we're going to want to get, we're going to need to go gather just a couple more heavy modular frames over here. That'll do the trick. We're going to come on over here and get radar towers.
Radar tower unlocked. The tower reveals resource nodes and other useful information on the map in a set radius from its location.
And last but not least, we need to gather some motors, and I need to make a beep booper. So let's do that. Come on over this way. Motors. And then let's go ahead and get what is arguably one of the most important upgrades to the beep booper. Radio signal scanning.
Object scanner magnetic sensitivity increased. It can now detect the signal of any hard drives at crash sites in your region.
Hell yeah. Alright. That is probably what we wanted to prioritize on for a while now, but never really got to the point of doing so. However, we can also grab a couple of modular frames over here. Let's just grab a few of them. head on back and, of course, unlock the best, once again, arguably, the best vehicle in the game. The Explorer.
Explorer unlocked. This personnel transport vehicle facilitates rapid traversal of difficult terrain and climbs like a mountain goat that has returned from extinction.
All right. So there's that. I'm pretty sure all of the preparation that we need is pretty much complete at this moment. We're going to put our beep booper in our hands here. And of course, we're going to be scanning for hard drives. Because, oh baby, are we going to need a lot of them. So, I think we're going to go ahead and call this episode here. Because while there is a lot of things that we could be doing right now, namely factory building and everything like that, it's at the point in the game where exploration and hard drive finding is a priority. Because at this point in the game, and this is what I was saving this explanation for, we are now at the point of the game where we are going to have to plan out mega builds. And the first mega build that we're going to be doing is going to knock out half of tier 4 of phase 4. That's right. We are going to annihilate 2 space elevator projects in 1 mega build. And those 2 projects are going to be the magnetic field generators and the nuclear pasta. But in order to do any of that, we need to unlock it first. So, nuclear power is what gives us the magnetic field generators. But we need to make supercomputers. Technically speaking, we can make these. We can make them. Just not at the proper speed. We need a lot of computers. AI limiters we have. Plastic we kind of don't have. But yeah, supercomputers are very important. We need to make them in order to get into nuclear. Which is, I think, what we're going to go into first in tier 8. And then once we get past that, leading edge production, but we need to get advanced aluminium production first with radio control units. Yeah, a lot of advanced stuff. Radio control units and supercomputers are extremely difficult to make. They're one of the hardest items in the game to make. But that's not going to stop us. We have the technology. We have limited power. What we need right now are recipes. That is what we need. We need alternate recipes. Supercomputers do have a recipe that'll make it a hell of a lot easier to craft them with. And the same thing goes with some recipes in the blender that we need. And all sorts of items. So I'm going to have to go on a little expedition around the world and find some of the hard drives. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. If you guys want to see some more Satisfactory content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the rest of my socials, including my Twitter and my X page and my Twitch page, where I do lots of live streams. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.